Well, as viewers of our program know, we have been covering Obamacare and its likely demise for all of the last 3 hours. There has been a huge showdown on Capitol Hill. However, we have a very important guest, and we want to get to that guest. Before that, let me show you this number. It's appalling. 762 is the number. That's the number of murders in Chicago last year alone. Deadliest year in 2 decades. I want you to listen to what the former Chicago Police Department superintendent had to say. Roll tape.
A movement with the goal of saving black lives at this point is getting black lives taken, because 80% of our murder victims here in Chicago are male blacks.
Well, here with me now is that man, Garry McCarthy, former Chicago Police Department Superintendent. Mr. Superintendent, welcome to the program. You were critical there of Black Lives Matter. Obviously, you know that the leader of Black Lives Matter was taken to the White House and was recognized by the president as being an outstanding community organizer. Do you think that perhaps President Obama shares some blame for what has happened with Black Lives Matter and the city of Chicago?
You know, Stuart, I hate to ruin a good story with facts, but I never said that Black Lives Matter is causing people to die. What I'm talking about when I point to the movement, I'm talking about the groundswell that has involved a number of different components, not only from the community organizers, community leaders. Black Lives Matter is definitely a component of that. But I talk about elected officials, the actions that they're taking, trying to legislate good policing. I talk about the Department of Justice, which does go right to the White House, as being a major component in hamstringing police while at the same time emboldening criminals, which is leading to the lawlessness that we're seeing in the streets of certainly many of our major cities across the country. Assaults on police officers are up by 100% to 160%, depending on which numbers you look at. But we're reaching a state of lawlessness in this country because what's happening is in every one of these terrible incidents that we've seen between police officers and young African-American men on tape, there's one commonality, which has to do with noncompliance. And that noncompliance is the common thread, but it's being legitimized through the actions that are being taken. We don't hear people saying, comply with the police and we don't get into this situation. Well, we hear people say, why did the police do that?
Do you think Donald Trump will make any difference to this?
I'm really hopeful that the Department of Justice is going to reverse field. The politicizing of DOJ, in my book, has been one of the major components which is causing violence in this country, because they're investigating 22 departments across the country, and they're using standards that are counter to what the Supreme Court has said. So it's leaving policing in a position where we don't even know what to do. Terry versus Ohio says that we could stop people based on these parameters. Department of Justice says that we can't stop as many African Americans as we are stopping. We have to use population demographics. The Supreme Court would say it was unconstitutional if we told them we were using population demographics to conduct stops.
Sir, look, I'm very sorry we have such a short time, but I'm glad you straightened out the story here. We appreciate that, and we welcome your point of view. Sir, we do. Come back again.
I spend a lot of time doing that, unfortunately. Thanks, Stuart.